Hello, I'm Lynn. Welcome back to my kitchen. I run a Facebook group dedicated to Dr Willaim Davis Wheat Belly and Supergut books. I've got the Wheat Belly book here. This one is about the damage that wheat and grains can do to our gut. And Supergut, this book, is about how to repair our gut using probiotics. So in both Wheat Belly and Supergut there are a number of recipes, and I thought it would be quite good fun to try some of the recipes. So the first one I'm going to try today is focaccia, the herbed focaccia bread. It's on page 252 of the Supergut book. And so I will put a list of the ingredients up for you, but I've got everything ready here, so we'll go ahead and make this. So we have the ingredients here. We've got 300 grams of ground almonds, almond flour, or I use ground almonds, 70 grams of psyllium seed. I haven't ground them yet. Psyllium is a very good source of omega-3, but you need to grind it freshly, otherwise the omega-3 tends to degenerate. 150 grams of mozzarella cheese, which is still in the fridge, so I'll just get that out. So I've just bought some ready grated mozzarella from the co-op. Now, I'm always a bit wary of using grated cheese because they tend to contain some starch or other to keep the grains separate, but this one, I don't know if you can, I did read it on the back here, it's just here. The starch that it uses is potato starch, so it's not wheat. So I've got the 150 grams of grated cheese ready here. Just pop that down. So we also need sea salt, onion powder, garlic paste. It says 5 cloves of garlic. That's probably a bit too much for my taste. So I've crushed up some garlic here in my pestle and mortar with a bit of oil and salt. I think I put 3 cloves in there, so we'll see how that goes. I have rosemary, and I haven't got oregano. In the recipe it says oregano. I'm not keen on it, it's quite an acrid herb, so I don't know whether to use mixed herbs or some thyme. I'll make up my mind when I get to that bit. I'm also going to add a bit of chili flakes in. It's not in the recipe, but I like chili flakes. 80 grams of chopped olives, 30 grams of sun-dried tomatoes, 2 large eggs that need to be beaten, and 125 ml of olive oil. We have to reserve a tablespoon of that. So I'll start off by grinding the psyllium seed. This is what it looks like. I have a coffee grinder that I bought and keep just for grinding spices. So it was a really cheap one on Amazon. I've had it for years and years, and it's really earned its keep. So we just pop the psyllium seed in there. All right, that looks a bit better. Okay, yeah, that's done. So into our bowl, we need 2 eggs beaten, but I'll do that in a moment with the oil. So into our bowl, we add all our dry ingredients. I've got my 300 grams of ground almonds. Now, I'm aware that for some people, ground almonds can be problematic because of the high level of oxalates. I've been on a keto diet since 2018. I don't eat a huge amount of almond flour. It's something I make occasionally. I don't eat kale or any of those high oxalate vegetables. I tend to avoid them. I do have the the nightshade plants, so like the red peppers, tomatoes and things like that. I enjoy them, and I keep it low on the other things. And like I say, I would only make something like this occasionally. It's not something I would eat on a daily basis, but it's nice to have for a change. So we've got our ground almonds, our ground psyllium seed, get that in. We want a teaspoon and a half of sea salt. So I've got Malden flakes here, just one and a half. A teaspoon of onion powder. Some onion powder here. Just pop that in. A teaspoon of the garlic paste. Well, like I say, I didn't, it says a teaspoon of garlic paste or 5 garlic cloves chopped. I didn't want to use as much as that, so I've just crushed up 3 here with a bit of oil and salt, and I think that's going to be plenty. Pop that in, give that a mix around so it spreads about a bit. Then we want a tablespoon of rosemary. I've got dried rosemary here. I think that would be a tablespoon. Oh yeah, it says 1.5 teaspoons of dried rosemary. So I do like rosemary. It's very delicious, very fragrant. Now then, I have to decide if I'm going to do the mixed herbs or the thyme. I think I'll go with the mixed herbs. It says a tablespoon of oregano. I don't really want to put a tablespoon of mixed herbs in those, so I think I'll just go with about half a tablespoon of my mixed herbs. 80 grams of, it says Kalamata olives in the recipe. I just bought a pot of mixed olives, measured out 80 grams, chopped them up, so they're going in. Same with the sun-dried tomatoes. There's actually a little bit more than 30 grams there because I do like sun-dried tomatoes, so I added another couple in. Give that a stir. I've also got some sliced red onion here. It's not in the recipe, but I thought it would be quite nice to put on the top of the bread before it goes into the oven. I'll just put that to one side. Oh, I'm going to add a pinch of, this is chipotle chili flakes. What lovely smoky flavour, and I like chili. So I have that. We'll add in our cheese. Stir around. And finally, we want to add in, yeah, I've done everything. Now I've got 2 eggs. I just need to beat those and add the oil. And add all but a tablespoon of the oil to the eggs, because the final bit of oil will go on the top of the bread when it's baking. It's about a tablespoon left there. So whisk that up. Tip that into our mixture and then give that a good stir around. Now this is all supposed to come together into a dough. It's the first time I've made this. I've never made it before, so it's all a bit of an experiment to see if this works. Yeah, it's definitely coming together. So in the book, in the recipe, Dr. Davis says to use a baking sheet that is 40 centimetres by 33 centimetres, and when I measured my baking sheets, it's actually the size of a large roasting pan. So I've got my roasting pan here, and I don't really want to make something that big, so I'm going to divide it into 2 pans that are half the size of my roasting pan, and then I can freeze one because I won't eat with this. I put some oil in the pan already, and I've got some parchment paper here that I'll just pop in the bottom just to make sure it doesn't stick to the base when it's baking, so it doesn't get stuck. Right, okay, so this is it coming together. It kind of is. It seems a bit dry. I don't know. I feel it should be a little bit moister than that. Right? Oh, I don't know. No, it seems fine actually. So now I'm going to divide this mixture in half and press it out into these 2 tins. Now I've got my oven preheating to 190 degrees centigrade, which I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit, but I'll put it in with the recipe. Just tip some of that in there, tip some of that in there, and oops, seem to have a bit too much in that one. And just press that, just even that out, and then I'll press it down. Okay, well I guess when the cheese melts it's going to add more moisture to this. It does seem a bit dry to be bread, but we'll see. I could be wrong. So let's just press this out quickly. Right, and now this needs to go in the oven now for 10 minutes. I believe it says 10 minutes. And then bake for 12 minutes. And then we take it out and we make some depressions into the top and pour the rest of the oil over that, and then it continues baking for another 10 minutes. So I'll just pop this into my oven now for 12 minutes. And we'll come back to that shortly. Now to have a look, see what it looks like. There's one. Now this isn't cooked yet. This is what we're supposed to do now, is dimple the top with the end of a spoon, wooden spoon. I see it's starting to go a bit brown around the edges here. I'm not sure. I think it's just trying to replicate the look of focaccia when you dimple it to pour the, so we'll just do that. And then pour the olive oil over the top. I've probably got slightly more than a tablespoon here. Right, okay, that's fine. Okay, so that's the olive oil on. When I put it in the oven 12 minutes ago, I forgot to put the onion rings on, so I had to take it out quickly, put the onion rings on, and now I'm just about to pop this back in the oven again. And this now needs another 10 minutes. So we will come back in 10 minutes and see what the finished article looks like. It's a bit soft at the moment. I'm not entirely convinced it's going to be cooked in 10 minutes, but we'll see. Okay, so the focaccia's had another 10 minutes. We'll take it out the oven now and have a look, see if it's cooked. It smells really good. This one. And the other one. Okay, so let me see. It's kind of sizzling. This one's sizzling more than that one. I think that might need another couple of minutes. I'm going to pop this back in the oven in the top shelf for another 2 minutes. and I'm going to try and get this one. It looks quite fragile. I'm worried that it will break up too much if I try to get it. I think I'll let that, maybe I'll just set that on the rack so it can cool underneath. I'm going to let that cool for a few minutes. Seems quite firm there. So if I can get under this paper, don't want to burn myself. Okay. Oh, it is breaking up. I'm going to have to let it cool for a couple of minutes and let that firm up a little before I try and take it out of the tin. So I'll take the other one out in a minute or two. I'll let them cool down and then I'll come back to you and we can see what the final result is. Okay, so the focaccia's finished cooking and this is the final result. It's cooled down now, so it has firmed up, but it is still quite fragile. I think it's too thin. I think the next time I make this, I would just make the whole recipe in one of these pans, cook it at a slightly lower temperature, 180, and maybe increase the cooking time by about 5 minutes. It had a total cooking time of 22 minutes, and I think another few minutes, if it were thicker, would be very beneficial. So the whole recipe makes 6 portions, and so we've got 3 in each. So if I just cut about a third off here and give this a try, see what the final result is like. So it's delicious. It's really good. It is a little bit dry. I thought it might be because when I was mixing it, it seemed quite dry, but I think if the whole recipe went into 1 small pan instead of 2, that would address that. I don't think it would be quite so dry. So yeah, it's absolutely lovely. I will make it again. It's not focaccia. It's more like a sort of a soft Italian flavoured cracker. Maybe if it were thicker, then it would be a bit more like a bready texture, but it is really nice and I definitely recommend trying it. So that was from the Supergut book, page 252, the Herbed Focaccia. If there are any recipes that you'd like me to try out from the Supergut or the Wheat Belly books, please let me know. Make a comment and I will look to do one of those for our next video. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Hope you do have a go. Don't make it with the expectation that it will be focaccia, it isn't. But it is very delicious and I'm going to have that with some roast chicken tonight. That'd be lovely. Okay, thanks very much. See you next time.